Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you in another video. All right, so I'm talking about the LA Lakers and the Denver Nuggets, of course. Game 3 is ahead. Series shifts back to our side of town. Basically, it's going to be at Crypto.com Arena, also known as Anxiety Arena, even though we've been winning there and haven't had too much anxiety really at all since I started saying that. So I think I'm going to keep on calling it that, just for the sake of not jinxing the whole thing, since we really need some luck right now, given the fact that we're down 0-2 in this series and have lost this series thus far in two different ways. We had big scoring and we had low scoring, and we did not win. The games were close and we did not close. Much has been said about LeBron James' three-point shooting, but listening to the experts, they essentially told me that was pretty much the only thing he did wrong. So what do we know, right? Fans, we just have to go by what we see, and what we saw was him shoot us completely out of the thing in this third quarter, going 0 for 6 from behind the arc. But his defense was stellar, his passing was stellar, and there's a lot to be said about just overcoming what it is he was dealing with down there, having rolled his left ankle in the game, missed like 4 layups, which I thought was just really uncharacteristic for the King, as I'm sure the rest of us did. And so I'm pretty certain he was kicking himself, and the only thing that I'm really worried about is that he didn't get any sleep because of it. Listening to James Worthy, he said that's the type of thing that leaves players up at night, and I'm saying, you know what, while I normally would just say, okay, yeah, that's true, I say no, because we got 1 day's rest in between each game. These guys need to be getting sleep. You can't let nothing keep you from getting sleep with this damn schedule, and that's what I would credit it to. Every struggle that he's had, every miscue, altitude, and a lack of sleep or rest in regards to these last 2 series. And so a lot of what it is I'm concerned about isn't necessarily about what it is we're going up against. It's about what it is that we can give what it is we're going up against. And that is why I'm encouraging Darvin Ham to try to use Wenyen Gabriel a little bit tonight, try to use Troy Brown just a little bit tonight, to give some of the guys that we're leaning on so much a spell, since we know that the Denver Nuggets will not do that for themselves as well, given the fact that they would only like to use 8 guys and have only been using 8 guys the whole time. And going forward, they plan on doing the same thing. So with that being said, they're going to wear themselves down, and we need to take advantage of that by first trying our very best to extend this series, obviously, and then from there using a bit more of our roster, players that we used all season long, that we trusted in situations we were trying to get to this point. We can't act like they didn't help us get here just because they're not overly talented. A guy like Troy Brown must be used not because of what he can do, but because of what it is that he's able to represent in rest for others, and not wearing down LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Austin Reeves, and some of the main guys. Also, D'Angelo Russell, much has been said about his struggles. Once again, this is one of them situations where I looked at him and what he was going through and considered what he's dealing with in regards to his calluses. Looking at some of the psychological buttons that the coach Mike Malone and several other players have been pressing in regards to his name. And I just felt like a lot was up against D'Angelo Russell, not to mention that his style of play doesn't really have a lot of force to it. And I'm trying to, encourage him to try to find that force in him. And I thought I saw some of that in that game, particularly in the first half, reading a passing lane well and snatching a play, pass in midair, getting a steal there, and of course blocking the shot on Bruce Brown, who's also been jarring at him a lot. And so if anything, I just want him to kind of be moved away from this series for now, allow him to get a little more rest, and then try to bring him back later on in the series, because right now the plus minus is telling us the differential is rather ridiculous in regards to how good we are without him and how bad we are when he's on the floor in this series thus far. So we can't ignore those numbers, and we need to do what we need to do to make sure that he's being properly utilized and sparingly until further notice. Again, any time you don't see a player on the floor, it means he's resting, it means he's healthy. So that's a good thing. We got to psych ourselves into understanding that, but we got to use everybody so that we can have everybody being healthy. We have been afforded great health in these playoffs, but we did just have 2 strong, tough games in altitude where LeBron James, of course, rolled the ankle, and we played a lot of minutes. Guys played a whole lot of minutes in those 2 games. So with only 1 day's rest, I do want to see more people tonight. I do want to see our coach lean into the guys who were really successful on the road and see if they can continue to be efficient at home. particularly Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura. We saw what Rui did, man. He had basically a perfect game through 3 quarters, and we got away from him. More or less, I'd say in the first half, he really got his thing going, driving at the rim. And he was quoted saying, they don't have any rim protection. So while we're waiting for LeBron James to be driving at the rim and trying to use his big body to get those easy buckets, we need to be continuing to use Rui, and allow him to do those same things, because honestly, he's the same size as Bron. He's having the same effectiveness driving at the rim at this point, especially, ask him to drive from too far away. So I just feel like he is someone that they haven't proven they can stop. And he's also somebody that I think we can utilize a bit more, particularly if we start him. We won't have as many problems if we put him on somebody like Porter Jr. He's the same size and height, and Porter Jr. ain't really putting the ball on the floor too much, so it's not like he has to do too much with Porter. I think he's going to probably, have to chase him around screens and stuff, but Porter tends to find himself hovering around the three-point arc. Doesn't allow for Rui to have to do too much at all, but stay close to him. I don't know if that's what's best. Obviously, I'm not a basketball mind, but we do need to keep size on the floor, because starting Schroeder didn't necessarily work. And going to Vanderbilt with only 11 minutes doesn't really give you the Vanderbilt experience, more or less. You got to use Vando much more in this series, and finding a way to use him offensively has been a struggle. Now, I heard something Jason Timpf said, and it makes a lot of sense to me. I'm not a basketball mind, but I figured if we can have certain things being said in multiple places that are catered to our team, maybe it's more than likely they'll get the message. So I'm just taking this directly from him, according to what it is that he said that you probably saw if you watch his content. He essentially said that we need to stop trying to send people at the offensive glass. We need to get the hell back on every play. They're beating us down the floor too damn fast, and it's happening repeatedly. So this is directly from his content. Y'all got to get the hell back and stop trashing the glass as it pertains to the offensive boards as we rush at the board. So whatever that means to you, Laker fans, I'm just trying to bring nuggets back that I know are going to help us directly, because at the end of the day, we need to help our team in whatever way we can in this situation. So, let's do the things that we need to do technically to assure that we can give ourselves the best opportunity to defend this very, very potent offensive ball club. Clearly, Jamal Murray went for over 12 points in the fourth quarter. It was crazy how lit he was to close us out. And it's one of those things where he was just as hot in the first game, and we haven't found a way to cool him off, but to put Vanderbilt on him. I really had to question Darvin Ham for taking Vanderbilt off of him, given the fact that he was really, really inefficient with Vando on him, and he's a fourth quarter killer. Why would you remove his defense in the fourth quarter? The only thing that's going to do is showcase him. And so this is yet another one of those situations where I just have to question the motives of the circumstance there. It just did, when something's working, you got to use it. And I know switching it up makes sense, but you also have to make them prove they can stop what you're doing. You know what I mean? And so I just think that we switch it up a little too much, and sometimes we switch it up, and it seems to me without any purpose other than to just switch it up. And so that's something that we need to give some credence to, because they are not doing that. And so we're getting beat by the same play over and over again, stuff like that. They're using what they have, and it's working. So can we lean on our strengths a bit more in this series, since we're down 0-2 right now? That's really what it is, consistency. And that's what I was listening to James Worthy talking about, consistency in regards to the plays that we run, using things that work, and just not letting people off the hook in regards to things that they cannot stop, particularly Rui Hachimura. If he's efficient and he's just killing them, driving at the rim, make them stop him. You know what I mean? Like, literally make them stop him. And if they prove they can effectively do so, then we move on. You know what I mean? But I don't know that we can afford to walk away from something that's working very well for the sake of the circumstances we're in, when we got to fight for our lives. Now we're down 0-2. So I just don't like the strategy that we've approached this series with. I know we didn't have a lot of time to prepare, and I know we haven't had a lot of time to rest, but you don't have a lot of time left either. So we got to get this right now. To say this is a must win is just, it's ridiculous to say that. We are going to be facing elimination if we don't win this game. So this ain't the time to play games. We haven't been down in any series in these playoffs, but we have had our back against the wall since basically at the end of the All-Star break. So this ain't nothing new. We know how it feels to be in a bad spot, but it's been a long time since we lost 2 games in a row, and it's been a very long time since we lost 3 games in a row. I don't expect for us to. I do respect the Denver Nuggets have won close games against us and have won a lot of games on the road, but they didn't beat us on the road. They didn't beat us in our house. They beat Phoenix and Minnesota. And like I said before, I don't have a whole lot of respect for those units as they were currently constructed. So there ain't going to be no, kudos in regards to beating those teams from me. They're going to have to beat us if they want some road credit. And so that's really what it comes down to for me. They've done what they always done at home. Denver's a very difficult place to play, not only because their team is very good, because of that altitude. And it gives them a very, very serious advantage. So, this ain't something that's going to go away. Teams have been playing in Colorado for as long as, sports have been played. So that advantage is always going to be there for anybody that plays there. This is what it is. Utah is the same. So we just got to deal with altitude, and luckily enough, we don't have to deal with it tonight. So we come back home. Hopefully our guys were able to get in good in regards to, settling in, because it ain't a whole lot of time to settle. You're just here for 2 games, and then you got to go right back out for Denver. So, I think the most important thing for our guys truly is rest. I honestly think that. I don't think it's strategy. I don't think it's anything like that. We do have things we have to tweak, but more than anything else, we just got to understand that we're in a sweet spot between being down 0-2 and still seeing a lot of playoffs ahead of us just the same. You know what I mean? It's like we want to win. We have big plans. And so we're going to have to find ways of conserving energy and exerting energy in a balanced way based on what it is we're dealing with. So that's why I want Coach to use a little more guys. I know we're in a crazy spot right now, but we mess around and only use 8 people, and they have those 8 people figured out, and we're going to get beat anyway. You know what I mean? So we got to expand what it is that they're looking at. We got to expand what it is that we're doing. I really want us to use Wenyen Gabriel some. I really want us to use Vanderbilt more. And, I got to see us reincorporate Dennis Schroeder into our circumstances that allows him to have a bit more wiggle room to get to the line. We're a much better team when he's getting to the free throw line. And since he's been coming off the bench in these playoffs, he ain't been getting to the line like he had in the regular season. It is very important we get him driving at the rim, laying the ball up, and getting free throws. We're at our best when he's contributing probably about 7 or 8 points from the free throw line. So that's something very important. Get Dennis Schroeder back incorporated to what we're doing, and I think we'll be a much better team. When we remove D'Angelo Russell from the lineup, we need to understand that even though he hasn't been very efficient from behind the arc, in fact, not very at all, he still is one of our best 3-point shooters. So you don't have Beasley out there and you don't have D'Lo out there, which means the only really reliable 3-point shooter you're going to put on the floor is Austin Reeves. So he was fantastic shooting the ball in the last one, 5 for 9. I like where I'm seeing from him. But we do need to understand that 3-point shooting is going to be somewhat something that we're going to have to keep up with if we're going to score with this team. I don't think you can get away with attempting 25 threes and only hitting 7 of them against that offense. So we had better get our efficiency right and our attempts up. And I think that has something to do with pace, and it has something to do with, again, making sure we contribute to giving ourselves second chance points as opposed to allowing them to crash the offensive glass like we've been allowing both Denver and the Warriors over the last couple of weeks. So if we don't figure out a way to crash the glass in a way that doesn't allow for us to be stagnant in transition, then we're going to have a hard time beating these guys. Jokic is an offensive rebounding monster, obviously, and he did not have his best game in the last one, even though he had ridiculous numbers. I think he was like 9 for 21. Do not expect for his efficiency to be that low again. So we need to be aware of that and continue to put as much defense on him as possible. I like the attempts from Anthony Davis. I know some were saying he needs to attempt more shots. I think for me, it's just that I'm so used to him giving me 9 attempts and 8 attempts to it's gotten to a point where I don't find myself upset at 15 and 16 attempts. Would I like him at 30, 35? It depends on what else is going on, because if other guys can get it going, then those attempts need to be in their hands too. How am I going to get 10 free throws from Schroeder if AD's taking 35 shots? How am I going to get my 15 shots from Bron if you know what I'm saying? So it's a diversification conundrum that we have with so many offensive threats and such a high volume superstar. But the balance is there, and that's why I don't mind him getting anywhere between 15 and 21 attempts. In a perfect world, he's getting more, but for how we're constructed, you just wouldn't get enough out of more people, and you need that to keep them engaged and get the most out of those pieces. So 15 attempts in the Western Conference Finals, you'd love for him to get more, but I also want him to crash the offensive glass for putbacks more, and I think that will help with that. So we need to do that, cut down on the jumpers, and explore his corner three a bit more. He's been hitting it in practice. He's been hitting it in throughout games. I haven't seen him miss that corner three too much. I think we can line him up over there and have some success a bit more. For our three-point attempts, I don't mind Anthony shooting threes. I'm one of those few Laker fans that don't look at him as a bad three-point shooter. I just look at him as someone who shoots him far and in between, and as a result, he doesn't have very good percentages. But if we shot him regularly, I wouldn't be surprised if he rose to the occasion and ended up having a 35 to 36% three-point shooting year in the future. I mean, he just has good form, and if you put him in the spots that he can hit the shots, he's going to make them. So I don't think he's a deficient three-point shooter. I just think he's somebody who's been labeled a three-point shooter that's deficient and doesn't make many threes or take many threes because of it. So, but his form has always been fantastic, and I ain't never forgot that fadeaway three that he hit at the buzzer in the playoffs against the Warriors, I believe it was like 7 or 8 years ago. Just falling down, like I ain't forgot that. So I know what AD can do from behind the arc, and I am encouraging our team to explore allowing him to shoot the corner one. Since we have him shooting so many 23-foot jumpers any damn way, you might as well just take a few steps backwards, right? Because them long jumpers don't really be hitting none anyway. He probably shoots better from behind the arc. So that's really what I see there. Some of those teardrops, stuff like that, I would rather him try to do something else because they were falling so short in Denver, and I just don't think those shots really fall as much as he thinks they do. I don't know why that is, though, but they do tend to fall short regularly to my eyesight. So I think our best bet is to just kind of have Anthony Davis cleaning up offensive glass, and of course getting easy dunks and lobs, more lobs, less tears, more lobs for sure. So yeah, I just want to up our percentages as a whole in regards to what it is we're doing. Obviously with LeBron James driving at the rim is so important, but playmaking is also something that can supplement what it is that we're trying to do in regards to shooting just wild threes that don't do nothing. Him shooting the three is not imperative at all. He can attempt 2 threes a night and we'll be fine. I promise. We can just find other ways to score, and he knows that. And listening to Robert Horry and listening to him hold LeBron accountable, it made all the sense in the world. You just got to move the ball around, dude. You ain't got to settle for that, and your team shouldn't be forced to. Just because you're the superstar doesn't mean that we're going to be successful in regards to you taking that particular shot. I know it's been a lot of things said about him needing to take shots and him taking passes and making the right play and all that. But at the end of the day, if you're shooting 0% on the game and 22% on the season, then you're asking your team to live and die with that percentage. It's not you working your way back into, shape. And a lot of people say he needs to hit that shot in order for us to win a championship. I think that wasn't the case. I think that was the case in the past with other teams that he'd been on. I don't think that's the case with this team at all. In fact, I think it's imperative that he don't shoot. And I think in order for us to win, so he needs to have that thought inverted. If these percentages are not going to be respected, then it's going to give him the result that's going to have us mad. That's really what it is. And him sad. So I don't know that he got what he needed out of that circumstance to feel this way. I don't think he did, to be honest with you. I expect for him to attempt more threes. I expect him to hit some too, but he's going to have to understand that shot is something that is really hurting us. It's not minor, and because of the other deficiencies in other areas that may be present, that can't be in regards to our team. So that's something that needs to be really, really talked about in regards to our locker room. Those guys got to talk to each other, man. They got to talk to each other. They can't be afraid to communicate this time of year, man. The only thing you're going to regret is that you didn't. That's all it is to it. With 2 games left, or we're out of here, guys got to be real. And guys got to be honest. And so hopefully we're having some candid conversations about what we need to do to win a close game against the Denver Nuggets, because that's really what it comes down to. We can erase leads throughout the meat and potatoes of the game. We can do all kinds of nice things. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it in the final 4 or 5 minutes of these games, they're making more plays, they're executing better, and they're ending it. And so that's what we need to do a better job of at home, is winning close games. Now, if for some reason we're lucky enough to get a blowout, that's fantastic. But the test for me is us winning a close game against this team, because we're going to have to play close games against them at some point regardless. So if for some reason we win by 10, 11 points, I'm not going to be satisfied till we win by 3, win by 4 against these guys, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to be required in order for us to win this series, is us winning multiple those, in my humble opinion. And they already got 2, so that's cool. They were at home, they had the crowd behind them, whatever. We're going to have the crowd behind us tonight, and that's what it's about. We got to hit some shots tonight, and we can't allow ourselves any schematic disadvantages or any mistakes in that regard. 3 guard lineups. Darvin Ham is going to have to understand that has given us so much trouble all season long that it's not appreciated at all when we see it down there, and it's not successful. It's been an utter mistake going to small lineups against the Denver Nuggets with 3, 6, 10 guys in the lineup, and every time he does it, it hurts us every single time. If you want to dig a purposeful hole, you got to understand that not too many people come out of 3 holes, bro. It's only happened maybe once or twice in sports history. So we need to not dig any holes tonight with our rotations, or it's going to be hell for a long time, man. I'm telling you, this is one of those situations where if the Lakers go down 0-2 because this guy put small ball on the floor, people are going to forget a lot of good in regards to him. So I am giving him what I think is my opinion, but I'm also telling him what I know is coming down the pipeline. It's going to be a bad energy toward him if we continue to see 3 guards lineups fail us, dude. D'Angelo Russell, Dennis Schroeder, and Lonnie Walker do not need to be on the floor together, sir. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't. Now, if you want to use Austin Reeves as a 3 in those lineups, that's still a 3-guard lineup. I see it that way. He ain't big enough to guard Michael Porter. He ain't big enough to guard no Jeff Green or nothing like that. So if you're going to put him on the floor with somebody like that, you need to understand what type of disadvantage you're leaving us at. Stop disrespecting Michael Porter's size and height. You got to put somebody on him that's big. It got to be Rui, got to be Winyan, it got to be somebody like that, bro. You got to be, Troy. You might want to try Troy on him. Obviously, Vando is an option, but you can't keep putting Lonnie Walker and freaking, Dennis Schroeder and all these little small people, D'Angelo Russell. You can't put these people on Porter. You can't put these people on Brown. So these are things that need to be understood. It's catering to why we're getting beat out there. We're getting killed on the glass because he's not respecting the size of that particular guy. And so as long as we can continue to respect that Gordon is missing shots from behind the arc, if he doesn't start hitting those shots, we can stay a little bit more home on Jokic. And that's kind of, I think, helped us keep Jokic's field goal percentage in a reasonable place. Hopefully we can continue to have some success there. Hopefully he can continue to miss chippies. We can get block shots with AD and stuff like that. So I don't know, man, but I feel like the answer to a lot of our problems is just proper defensive placement. You put the right size and weight guys on the floor as best as you can. You don't have a weight matchup with Jokic, but you do have some height and some length there that can go against him. I believe that Mo Bamba may be available for tonight. Last I checked, he was going to try to give it a go for Game 3. I don't know if that's still in the air. I didn't see the injury report available to me this morning. So, obviously, LeBron James rolling the ankle. He said he's going to be good to go. It's not going to be an issue. He's going to play. Hopefully, he's not hampered by that, because he's already been giving us not so great ball, and that's what's real, even though much has been said earlier in the video about how it was illustrated that he played well. At the end of the day, I don't think that my eyes lied to me. I think that my eyes told me the truth, and we left a lot of points on the board in regards to LeBron James. Layups and 3-point shots. We left a lot. We only lost by 5. So I'm really frustrated by that. As a fan, I'm very frustrated by that, but he's not the only person missing shots. D'Lo missed plenty of shots, obviously. You know what I mean? AD's inefficiency was not good there for us, so it's not that Bron was the only one screwing up, but them screw-ups was terrible, bro. Let's just be honest. Our superstars got to deliver, man. Jamal Murray, Porter, and Jokic are delivering for the Denver Nuggets, and Bron and AD are not delivering for the Lakers. We're not winning these close games. We're not killing it on the glass. We're not schematically sound out there. They're a better team right now. And that is very disappointing to me, because I've been screaming all playoffs long that I want to see Denver. I think we have a better roster, and still do. But if we don't run the right stuff and we, make decisions that play into their strengths' hands, then we're gonna get beaten again. Salute the Kobe minute. So I just don't want to see that happen. Not only as it pertains to being a fan, but as somebody who's rooting for the guys, as somebody who's been rooting this entire process along the way, seeing them go through the ebbs and flows of struggling through different things and overcoming them and winning and all of these different things that got them this far. If we were to lose tonight, it wouldn't be for nothing. It's not a complete failure, but it is as it pertains to us beating a team that we know we should be able to beat. I think we've given them too much respect. I think we've acknowledged that they're the best offense in the league, but we haven't acknowledged that we are the best defense in the league, and that should stand for something in going against the best offense in the league. And I thought we did a good job against keeping their scoring down in the second game, but did a crap job about it in the first. So we lost both of those games, and they scored more points than us. So at the end of the day, our defense ain't winning this battle, and neither is our offense. So we need to get it together, man. I don't know what it's going to take for guys to be able to have enough energy to win in Denver, but they damn sure better have enough energy to win in LA, or we ain't going back to Denver. So that's really what it come down to. They took care of home court advantage. They took care of theirs. That's cool. They did that. We haven't had home court all year, so we don't know how that feels to be able to win the first two games in our building. We had to win games in other people's building to start the series. And so that's given us a resilience to help us understand that we can win games in this series just the same if we just take care of the technical issues that we have to take care of and pay attention to in-game solutions as we see them manifest through the things that they give us, through the tendencies that they show. And I'm telling you, this team don't play no damn defense, so we need to drive more. At the end of the day, I don't care what people say about them. Oh, they try to keep you out of the paint. They use their body. That's all beautiful, man, I promise you. But without a rim protector, it's still a layup line, so don't give me that. Their best defense is staying out of foul trouble. Their best defense is hitting shots, and they do that at a higher clip than most, which is why they're 2 games away from the NBA Finals. We have got to do a better job of taking advantage of that by putting more pressure on them offensively and leaning into things that they cannot stop. They're not a good defense, so they're going to be things that they cannot stop. Find those things and spam the hell out of them. So that's really what I got to say, man. I'm not too interested in breaking down numbers right now, other than just to say that we've been crap on the defensive glass, and allowing offensive rebounds. Too much. Way too much. And us rushing at the glass apparently is the problem, ironically enough. So let's do something different and let's get it done. And let's get back and do a better job of transition in both sides of the ball. Get the easy buckets. Keep them out the fast break. Get back. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And so switching has worked for us in a lot of situations in this series also. I've heard a lot of analysts say we need to do a little more switching, work more of that into what it is that we're doing, incorporate more of that into what we have going on. And let's not act like we don't have comparable size. We do. That's the thing about it. The Denver Nuggets are a big team, but believe it or not, the Los Angeles Lakers are much bigger. We just haven't used the bigger people we have. You put Mo Bamba and Anthony Davis on the floor at the same time. You put Wenyen Gabriel and Vanderbilt on the floor at the same time, and I promise you, you're going to find out exactly how much bigger we are than them. At the end of the day, they only have 8 freaking people, bro. That's the part that just insults the hell out of me when I keep hearing people say they're a deep team. Where? They're hiding half the team, so we need to not hide ours. We have length that we're not using. In Wenyen, Troy, Max, all these dudes. I'm watching the precision that Max is shooting the ball with right now. As you continue to see footage of him, this dude should be used, man. Not to say that I want him in the Western Conference Finals playing big minutes, but I mean, he's a big body with long arms who thinks rebound and hits shots. What the hell else do I want? You know what I mean? For small portions of the time when I need D'Angelo Russell ass off the floor, why wouldn't I use the young fella who can get back in transition, who can maybe get a transition block situation or something with his length and his athleticism, or an easy bucket driving at the rim and a couple free throws, even though they probably won't call him for a rookie. The point is, we got bodies we trust, guys that we look forward to using in the future. I don't see why the heck we wouldn't sneak them a little time in the second quarter when they don't have deficiencies that are glaring, but we choose to put the stuff on the floor that does. It's why we're not where we need to be in the series. And so I think if we switch that up, not only will we give ourselves a little more cushion in regards to the rest that we're not receiving, but we'll probably throw enough at them to wear them down just the same. So I just don't think we're doing enough job of wearing them down. We're definitely not doing a good enough job of getting them in foul trouble and keeping them in foul trouble. And so we need to do that too. That's where my head is, man. I love my team. I woke up this morning on the very good side of the bed, praying and just listening to music and having a fantastic way about it. And the first thing that came to mind for me was just, we are in a space, this team, where hopefully they were feeling as good as me when I woke up this morning. Hopefully they weren't thinking about all the mistakes they made in game 2 and 1. Hopefully they got a clean slate on their mind and ready to give effort necessary to win. Because if you don't have that effort tonight and you don't have that clarity of mind to let go of some of them mistakes, they're going to be carried into our building, and we're going to have problems when they start going on runs. We're not going to believe in ourselves, and that's what I'm worried about. We got to believe in ourselves tonight. We had a good portion of success throughout 2 games, and they could very easily be down 0-2 just the same. I heard our coach and LeBron James both say that there's been progress that they've seen from one game to another, and if we continue on that trajectory, we should be winning games. So hopefully that translates just like that. We're getting a little bit better at defending them. We're getting a little bit better at doing what we want to do, and hopefully we'll see the data from both 1 and 2 come to meet us in game 3 and work in our favor. I expect Mike Malone to make some serious adjustments. I do expect some great geometry down there. I expect Jokic to be doing all kinds of wonderful stuff, and Murray too. But at the end of the day, we should have answers for those dudes. And in-game adjustments has been something that I think we have shown we can make, so long as we just don't audible into things that do not work. Just the same. So, Austin Reeves, we're at home, man. We need you to step up just like you did in game 2. If we can't get that from you, we're going to struggle, brother. We can't rely on none of these other guards right now. Can't even rely on the king. None of these dudes playing consistent right now. So the only person I really see playing consistent other than Rui Hachimura is Austin Reeves right now. And I want to give them guys the ball a bit more and see if they can continue to do that. I don't care who wins the game for. It's just that they're wearing purple and gold, man. That's it. I don't care who wins it. So that's what I want to see our coach do, man. You trusted these dudes all season long. You asked Wenyen Gabriel to guard people twice his size for the whole damn 2-week span. And you can't get no minutes in these Western Conference Finals when you need rebounding. Stop playing. Stop playing. Shrink your bench nonsense is why we're going to lose. I done told y'all that shrink your bench crap doesn't make any sense when everybody can play. It only makes sense when guys don't have any talent. Hence what the hell's going on in Denver when their bench is not being used. We got it. We need to use it. So that's what I got to say, man. I am over Denver. I ain't never been more over a team in my life. This underdog role that they're trying to motivate themselves with is nauseating. They ain't getting no service to themselves. They don't, they're not happy because they're not getting the attention the Lakers are giving. Win something. Win something. I challenge y'all halfway through the year. Win something. You know what I mean? Stop complaining about attention you ain't getting for works you haven't earned. Win something. And so I'm telling the Lakers to stop them. You know what I mean? Just the same. Stop allowing your own self to shoot you in the foot while this other team is very intent on doing the same to you. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it comes down to. If we beating ourselves up and they beating us up, how the hell we going to succeed in anything? So that's really what it comes down to. Stop digging holes, Darvin Ham. I'm telling you, brother, there's a lot of coaches that can win with this team, and I promise you, we're going to have one of them next year if you keep on doing this small ball crap. So that's really what it comes down to, bro. I'm tired. I'm encouraged. I'm happy. And I'm discouraged by the fact that we lost these games. There's a lot of different, multiple, conflicting feelings going on with this Laker thing. And I want it to end with us on top. Not getting swept out these playoffs and not coming up short to a team that's been talking crap. You know what I'm saying? Mike Malone's been poking bears. He's been bullying players on our team, talking about he didn't shut them down, all kinds of weird stuff that I'm just looking at like, man, if you had it like that, why are you talking like that? You know what I mean? If your team was as good as if you want us to say they are, and as much heralding as you want us to give your players, why the hell are you trying to get in our guy's head who's struggling? Why you need to get in the head of a player who's struggling? You know what I'm saying? He's already struggling. Don't you want to get in the head of somebody who isn't? That's what I'm saying. Like Mike Malone, he's the type of dude who wants to attack something that's weak. He ain't gonna attack nothing strong. He gonna find the weakest thing and he gonna belly that. He gonna attack that, and that's the energy of the Denver Nuggets, and I don't respect. So I just want people to know that very clearly. I don't respect the energy that I'm receiving in regards to that team pointed at my team. I don't like it. So that should be motivating for our team. But I don't know if we're gonna respond to that. Our guys don't. I don't know. Sometimes they're offended. Sometimes they're most so focused on being in others' mindset. So I don't know what our team feels about the disrespect we've been receiving. But I'm taking it right here on the chin, and I'm looking forward to my team having my back in regards to that as a fan. So that's really what I got to say, man. Protect this house. Protect this purple and gold, man. Make us feel good about being up against this Denver Nuggets team. I'm seeing too much respect paid to them. You know what I mean? Too much respect paid to them. Like they didn't win 4 or 5 championships or something. Like they Golden State of Steph Curry. They ain't won nothing, bro. Nothing. And the only reason why that's the case is because we're always in the way when it's time for them to. Why would this be any different? If we're not, us just not believing anymore or something weird. I don't know. So that's where I'm at with it, man. They hitting shots. We're hitting shots. We're getting stops. They're not very much at all. So we just need to continue to work on getting more stops, getting back on defense, taking care of what it is that we can control, and cutting down on the stupid crap, on the stuff that doesn't work, on the stuff that ultimately leans into us playing into the hands of our opponent. You know what I mean? So that's really what I got to say about that. I'm frustrated, but not just because I'm down 0-2, but because of the overall running narrative. Like I'm supposed to be scolded for being the Lakers or something. Like we're supposed to be attacked for the attention that surrounds us, as if we welcomed all of the hate that comes with it. You know how much of that attention is hate, Mike Malone? Do you know how many times we got to hear people discredit what it is that we do as Lakers? It ain't all love, bro. The hell are you talking about? Like, did you see what they did to Russell Westbrook? That's what pisses me off. It's like, do you really want that attention? Because we can do that. You know what I mean? If you want to be talked about every day and have everything that you do and everything that your organization does get picked apart, we can start asking why the hell you got that player on the team, why that guy's over there, why you ain't waive him, why you ain't use him. Everybody act like they want to be the Lakers until they start realizing what it is that we actually dealing with. We can't even play a reasonable series because you got coaches trying to bully our players and people calling out our superstars and all this nonsense. There's a lot of hate that come with that. You think you want that until you get it. The pressure that comes with that, half these players don't even want to play in our gym because there's so much pressure. You get to sit up in Denver, smoke weed all day. Don't give us that bull crap. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to hear that from him. And he got the altitude advantage. Stop it. We don't want to hear it from you no more. So that's what I got to say, man. Whether my team is going to back me up or not, that's cool. But I'm starting to grow a strong vitriol for Denver. I don't like them. They're starting to turn into a different level of something for me personally as a fan. And so as most of my fan base respects their team, and like I said, I like some of their players. Joker's the man. Murray's the man. But the disrespect is getting to a point where now I need my team to respond like we do. And while they're a good team, I don't care, bro. I literally don't care. It gets to a point where you just got to Jimmy Butler somebody. You know what I mean? And that's what Mike Malone is asking for. So if we go out sad, then we'll point our attention at our team in regards to them not backing us up. But right now, our team needs to back us up. And so that's really what I got to say. For Game 3 and 4, I'm going to need both of those. Not just one. I need both of those. And so that's where my head is at. It's personal. Denver won't smoke. They're going to get it. They got plenty of smoke up there. They're going to get more. And that's how it's going to be, man. We LA at the end of the day, so ain't nobody out smoking us. So that's how it go. And at the end of the day, I'll tell you this. I don't have any problem with Denver winning the championship if we lose. Even under these circumstances, because there ain't nothing worse than the Celtics winning the championship. So I'm just going to be honest about that. But it doesn't mean for 1 second that if we lose this series, and they go and face the Celtics and they lose, I'm on their head all summer long. I'm just letting you know right now, it's going to be anti-Denver Nuggets here for a long time. If they beat us and lose to the Celtics, I'll never forgive them. I'll never forgive them. So that's pretty much what I got to say about that. But for the time being, we're still in the mix. I'm trusting that LeBron James and Anthony Davis will stop that from happening. They look themselves in the mirror and say, they're not the only guys down there that can do something. And do something. Because right now, we're getting punked, kicked around, and stomped around by somebody who only wants to attack the little guy. And that, my friends, that's beneath us in every way. That's beneath us. So that's what I got to say, man. 17 championships ain't enough. Not all that glitters is gold. Not all the attention is good. And, you know, Mike Malone wants more attention in Denver. He's going to get what he's asking for. He's going to get exactly what he's asking for. Because we own it. So that's what I got to say, man. Hopefully our Lakers pack it up. It's easy for me to talk. But if the team come out and play soft and have us roll over, I guess I'm just wearing the wrong colors. That's what it would really come down to, right? But I don't believe I am. Because 17 times over, we came out on top. 17 times over, the other guys ended up with the short end of the stick. Even if they was doing all the talking, even if they was stepping over us, even if they was doing all kinds of stuff, at the end of the day, we was the ones. We was the ones hosting the trophy. They was the ones at home. Poking bears, all that. At home. So I don't know if the Lakers are going to continue to believe in themselves in that regard, continue to be motivated by disrespect, or even see that as disrespect. But I do, and I'm motivated to tell you that my team need to come through. BDL44, I thank you all for watching. Out.